Bruce here, Murphy, North Carolina, on this beautiful winter day, February 19th, 2024, and a quick shout out to AK Operators Union, aka Rabski. I should copyright that. AKA Rabski. Has a ring to it. Anyway, you're not here for that. You're here to learn about aligning scope rings and lapping the rings. Let's get to it. First, let's give you a little tour of the neighborhood. Now, today we're using tools from Wheeler and Techron. Okay, here's a standard Wheeler align lap kit, 1 inch, 30 millimeter, 220 grit, compound. What more could you want for life is good? And of course, we've got our inch-pound torque wrench, not foot-pound, inch-pound torque wrench and regular ratchet. And we're going to be putting on that nice scope and onto this master mount scope rail for the RAK 308C or 8km long rail. More about that at the end. What we're worried about or concerned about, these beautiful rings. Triple screw Torx head rings. Thank you, Robski. I bought these from Robski's store, aka OU store. More about that later. But triple screw Torx head. We'll be torquing these down, not today, but on the next episode, to 21 inch-pounds per AK. The base I torqued to 45 pounds. Okay, let's get this on the pod and get to it. Like I said, I'm not going to waste your time. Well, I will. I always do. I'll get yakking. Okay, help me align this thing out, folks. Tell me when you can see it. Man, I got glare on this thing. Should be in the ballpark. Kind of feeling it. Put my glasses on, maybe I can see it. There's that mount. That's looking... Alright, roll with it. I hope that's right. I cannot see squadouche. Alright. Now, spoiler alert. I've already been working on this. There it is. Now first, we want to check alignment. And once again, these are now dedicated. I put a little marker on there. Front sight, aiming forward. This is now married to this base from now on. Same with the back. The rear, back with arrow, because after we do the lapping, each one will be unique to that base. So this one's already virtually there. We're just doing a little cleanup, tiny bit. Now we don't want to do it too much, because then we'll close the gap. And under no circumstances do I want to close the gap. And I'm not talking about your clothing store. The gap. Alright, normally I'd clamp these on I'm not now because they're there. They are aligned. Those tips would touch if I touched them. It's aligned. If it wasn't, well, we'd have a lot more lapping to do. But that's the beauty about doing the lap. Because if it was off a little bit, the lapping would correct that. And actually yesterday, when I put the alignment tools on, these rings, they were aligned. I was just ensuring the perfect circle. Now with this type of mount, you need to be careful. You've got different kind of mounts. The tops or clamp, some are thin, some are thick. I call this a thin one. So you got to be careful not to do too much, because when you torque these down, it's actually going to flex a little bit. So you don't want to take too much off of that top and leave a blank space. Now I already torqued down the scope yesterday just to see, and there was just the tiniest of gaps on the side. Now where these clamps go together, you must have a gap. You must. If you don't have a gap, odds are that scope is loose. And if it's not loose yet, it will be. So you need a gap. You don't want to take too much. But here we go. So Q-tip, whatever you got. Get some on. Whoa. Whoa, I took a, oh, that's right. It's in the, last night it was inside, and being winter, it was cold. I had to scrape. Today, holy mackerel. That stuff's almost liquid. Sitting out here in this sun. Okay. A little bit on the top. Kind of on a nice even distribution. The front. Do. Cool. Alright, get the tool out. Some people slide it in like this or like that. I leave the rings off. Seat it. Ah, nice. Now, here's where the art comes in. I'm very lucky. Lucky I found that screw. I'm very lucky, and these are triple mounts. Thanks again, Robski. Now, during this whole lapping operation, keep the gaps the same on both sides and end to end. Because if you were just to tighten up these ends, go through, you could actually get misshapen. So first, on this triple, I'll go down the middle screws. Look at the gap. Whoa! Almost no gap on that side. Now you get extra points if you bring out an old set of feeler gauges and measure it. I'm just doing the eyebally because I think we can get pretty close. Now I'm not going to say snug, but close. That's actually pretty good. Now, these end screws, I'm not going to tighten, I'm just coming down to where they stop. Whoop, stop. There we go. So we keep this motion the same because we want it parallel. There we go. And as always, don't be afraid to keep checking your gaps. Good. Oh yeah, that is good. Do. Now, when using this tool, oh, that's pretty close. Good Bruce. When using your tool, there's a few different methods. Some do the standard in and out. I'm more of a cross-hatcher. No, not one of the cross-dressers from down at the gun shop. Oops, did I say that out loud? I'm a cross-hatcher. That's from my old days rebuilding motorcycle engines. When I was a teenager, you'd get your cylinder bored out, and then the finishing touch to the bore was honing the cylinder. So instead of, and it was on a circular 3 stones that sprung out, and you'd hone your cylinder. Well, you didn't just down, out. No, you in, out, while it turned. That created a cross-hatching. I'm trying to do the same thing here, because I don't want too much compound here, too much there, and I get little rivers and valleys. I'm trying for a more consistent surface. Whoa, that's a little hard. Little rough. Balance. So I cross-hatch. Let's do a little bit more. Now, I'm masculine. I love my toxic masculinity. Ooh, that feels good. But here, I want you to be delicate. Delicate and precise. I've seen people who slam this thing right against these. Don't do that. Go nice and gentle. Nice, gentle. You can do a little straight in action. But once again, don't slam it in there. This isn't your Hurst 4-speed. Ooh, it's starting to feel good already. All right, it's starting to distribute. Thank you, wonderful sunshine. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Soleil. So, I'm making that circle really nice. Oh, that feels good. And see, I'm doing this action too, but I'm more getting the crosshatch. And once again, be delicate, precise. Don't forcing it, because you will make it convex, concave, whatever. It's a tool, or think of it more as an instrument. The same as your optic is an instrument. Once you put an optic on here, you no longer throw your AK into the dirt. You no longer throw it in the back of a pickup truck. Drive down a gravel road, shaking everything to pieces. Without the optic, hey, it's an AK. Whatever you want. Now, because I've already, this is it, I'm done actually. I put a lot of time in on this. This is about as far as I want to go. And remember, know your limits. Keep your gaps. Now when it's loose like that, really keep gaps. Because once you torque it down, once again, 21 inch-pounds, it will close up. The gap is your friend. With the gap, you can hit both sides and bottom at the same time. Name that movie. Okay, that's fast and easy. So for those who wanted to learn this, you've learned it. Next step, take off the rings, clean it up real good. Well, the clamps, the rings are on there. I'm not moving these rings. And I'm doing it without Loctite on this trip around the park. If you do use Loctite, use the blue, not the red. Blue is for you, red is for revenge. When you want to sabotage somebody so they can't get it off. Use the blue. Like I said, I'm testing out a few hundred rounds without Loctite. And if you do use Loctite, kick a couple pounds off the torque specs. So instead of 21, maybe try 19. Some people say the Loctite, while it's in liquid form, acts as a lubricant, so you could over-tighten. Let's don't do that. Under-tighten first with the Loctite, and if you use a Loctite, I'd let it sit 24 hours before trying it out. And that's about it for now. For you guys who just wanted to learn this, for you other guys, girls, guys, whoever, we'll talk more. So, on the next episode, we're going to mount and level the scope. Oh, one last thing. Before I put these rings on, I determined the perfect slots, so I would not have to take them off again. Okay, that's it for you quick and easy guys. You're out of here? Okay, it's just the hardcore guys now. Cool. Alright, that's over with. Thank goodness. Now, let's get back to this. Next episode, gonna mount that scope, level it with a fishing pole. You got it, because I can't find my scope leveling levels. So I'm gonna do old school. I'm gonna use a fishing pole. Dangle the line down, put a framing square under here, determine parallel, and then move that line out in front of the scope, line up the reticle, and get that level. Couple frames of thought on that. You take it to the gun shop, they do your reticle, you take it home and you go, this reticle's crooked, oh, he screwed me. No, odds are it's perfect. It's just you don't put it on your shoulder perfectly straight up and down. Normal thing, because perfectly up and down is not normal. So if you got a buddy or whatever, another school of thought is find your most normal hold and line your reticle that way, vertical. Myself, I do the perfect up and down. If I got to switch from there, but it's perpendicular, it's right to the mount. I'll make adjustments because I do a lot of bench rest, and that bench rest is straight up and down. Because once you get the reticle out of level with gravity, well, your windage now becomes a combo of windage and elevation, and vice versa. A total pain in the butt. Okay, once again, shout out to Robski, AKOU, Operators Union, Local 4774. He does a lot of good videos. He shoots a lot of sniper rifles, from 150 to his infamous 700-yard shots, and this guy is good. He doesn't just do AKs, he does everybody. Mosin Nagants, all the good stuff. Please, tune him in, check out his store. I got this from his store. This is the AK Master Mount, made for heavier calibers, because this AK is the RAK 308C Riley Defense in